became very well acquainted with Tammy Brinker, who's the head of the Hernando Education Foundation. So when she was approached by Accuform, that they had this great idea that for their team building activity, they would do a project to help schools here in Hernando County. And she says, well, you've got to start with the Eastside. And she said, and the first room should be the library.
We've long had a history of trying to give back to the community, and a large part of our giving is always focused around children. So we had this idea actually a few years ago, and we couldn't quite figure out how we were going to implement it. And then we just decided to partner it with our anniversary lunch program. So we do a anniversary lunch where all the employees that are out here are celebrating their anniversary because they were hired in August at some point, from 1 to 18 years ago. And so the idea is just for them to come out and be involved, give back to the community, part of our Give Back program.
I had an idea for some kind of a sign in the library a few years ago, and I didn't have this dream team to create it, but it was that imagination and information collide at the library. And a day or two after we had the first meeting with Accuform, I remembered this idea that I had sort of buried in my consciousness.
So her idea was where information and imagination collide. And so she gave us the theme, and then we all worked from it to create the graphics that would be representative of what she wanted. So information on this side, the nonfiction stuff, imagination on that side, the fiction story. So
I think it's been a real cooperative effort, but I love the ideas that they've come up with, and some of the problems that they even saw that I didn't realize there was something Accuform could do. For instance, they talked about some kind of divider to make the story time area where the rug is a little cozier for the small children. So they said, what if we hung something from the ceiling, or what if we had some movable walls? We have these poles for the drops for the computers, and the kids always want to swing on them. And one of the young men said, oh, this just screams jungle vine. So that led to the idea of turning those poles into palm trees, and the palm fronds at the top are going to each say something different that you can find in the library, like chapter books, picture books. Social studies often gets overlooked in the elementary school, trying so hard, working on the math and the reading and the things that are actually tested. So I have tried to incorporate that as much as I can with the lessons when I have the students in the library, using maps or pointing to a place on the map. If the story that we're reading takes place in Denmark, I like to have a map and say, here we are, and this is where Denmark is, closer to the North Pole, things like that. So they were looking at the fairly large size laminated map I had on the bulletin board and said, what if we made this whole wall a map?
Yes, well, we knew we needed to take the bulletin board off to mount the wall map, and Kelly Davidson and I, who's our head of maintenance, were starting to mess with the bulletin board and realized that we couldn't find any screws, no way that it was mounted. So we said, well, let's just start to pull, and then we found that it was kind of a makeshift bulletin board. It wasn't even a real bulletin board. They used some sort of mystery adhesive, and when the maintenance team came, they called it, oh, you mean the brown stuff? And yeah, we could not scrape it, realized that we could not even sand it off, so we're gonna mount the map to some material we have back at work, probably some fiberglass, maybe a clear or a small polyethylene. It'll be rigid, and then we're going to bring the map back and then mount it to the wall and cover up that eyesore that is the brown stuff and what's left of the homemade bulletin board.
It is still going to be a surprise, just to see it all put together.
keeps on printing.
It's not what we typically do. Generally, you see us making danger signs, warning, caution. But this is a great departure. This is a chance to build products that are different and unique. So I can tell you our graphic artists had a great time working on this project.
Last year when we first walked in, it was really kind of plain. There wasn't as much like color and signs. And we didn't have a huge map like that. We only had a globe.
Oh yeah, that wasn't even there. Last year we had a paper map and we didn't have a big board.
I think it's kind of cool.
They have a new sign and the walls were all like plain, but now they're all colorful and they have words. And the doors, they have like designs on them. And over here they have a new carpet and a new map and they have paw prints on it.
Well, the differences were the map, the rug, and, well, last year I never seen these bowls around.
It tells you where the books are and what kind of books are they. The walls, they were different. They used to be tan like that, but then they like got painted, and the doors, like they had a design. It was like way different than last year.
They have a reputation as being a really good company to work for, and they do team building things, which, you know, generally good companies, good organizations do things to try to build that. But to turn that part of it into how can we help the community? How can we help our students in this county? Make that the team building activity? I just think that is phenomenal. Someone had a really inspired idea when they came up with that. And this is just the first one.